thank you for coming on
Yeah,
Behind the Content.
for sure.
I'm so
Thanks for
excited to
having
have
me.
you.
Yeah.
So, Kenzie Holdway is here with Crispy Cool,
Yes.
and we'll talk about how we met and or how we got together and all of the things and how we got to this room today. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you give your founder story because I'm so excited to hear it.
Yeah.
Truly, I can't wait. I didn't want to chat too much before the episode because I wanted to hear all the details. I wanted
Yeah.
to hear all the things.
Hear it live for sure.
Yeah.
So we started Crispy Cool back in 2022. And
Okay.
at the time, my husband and I were very recently dating, like had probably only been dating for like 2 or 3 months, which is kind of crazy to start a company at that time.
Mhm.
And
A true test.
yeah, a true test for
Yeah.
sure. But it all started because I had issues with carbonation and I cannot drink carbonated drinks and be able to just like digest it. And
Mhm.
so I'd go out to the bars and I'd have high noons, I'd have white claws, and like I was so full and so uncomfortable after just one drink. And I'm like, okay, this is just not it. So I started taking shots and I became a shots girl. And that was a very dangerous, very dangerous
Dangerous game to
time to go.
play. Yeah.
Yes. And so I, uh, I stopped doing that and started drinking vodka waters with just some Mio flavoring in it. So I would
Mm.
bring like little Mios to the bar and put it in my purse and I would just
Mhm.
order a vodka water. And I was like, wait, this is like really, really good. And like,
Mhm.
I have no sugar. I'm not having the hangovers that I have when I have super sugary drinks.
Mhm.
And I feel like I'm like hydrating at the same time because it's a vodka water. So
Mhm.
it was all of like the good benefits. And I was like, this should be in a can. And so right after I had that thought, it was like midsummer of 2022. Mom Water had just launched. And I was like,
Mm.
crap, somebody else already did this. Like,
Mhm.
maybe I can't do this. And then I went out and tried Mom Water and it just didn't have enough flavor. It kind of like tasted like they like sprinkled the word flavor in it and they
Mhm.
didn't actually like put a lot of flavor. And so I was like, you know what? I should still do this. And so I was talking with my husband, boyfriend at the time, Jason,
Mhm.
and was like, I'm going to start this. And he's like, okay, whatever, whatever. I contacted a lab, paid them money to go ahead and formulate our beverage.
Mhm.
And I was like, okay, we're doing it. And he was like, wait, what? Are you serious? I'm like, 100%. So we had to come up with a name for Crispy Cool. And Crispy Cool started because, I really wanted to have a double name to it, like High
Mhm.
Noon, White Claw. I wanted people to be able to shorten it as well.
Mhm.
And so I talked to him and I was like, what is the immediate, you know, feeling that you get when you drink a really icy cold glass of water? And
Mhm.
he's like, that's crisp. And I'm like,
Mhm.
perfect. That's
Yeah.
going to be our slogan. And I was like, what about crispy? And he's like, well, crispy sounds great, but what's the next word we're going to put with it? I was like,
Mhm.
crispy cool. And immediately it just flowed right off the tongue. And I was like, well, people can shorten it to Crispies. And they do. They did it immediately. They shortened it to Crispies. Like, can you grab a pack of Crispies? And it went exactly how I wanted it to. And so we started working with the lab and got our first round of samples in January of 2023. And when we got that in, the first round was so bad. I
Oh,
looked at him and was like,
no.
"Oh my god, what did we just do?" It tasted horrible. And I contacted the lab and I was like, "I don't know if we can move forward with this. Like, this is a bad idea." And they were like, "No, the first round's supposed to be really bad because we need to have a, starting point of what you're really looking for that drink to taste like." And they're like, "Don't get discouraged because we'll continue to formulate it until you get it right." So we did multiple, multiple rounds of formulations. They'd send us different variations of each flavor. And it took us about 8 months or so before we even went to the lab in person to
Wow.
go and start really refining the formula even more.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I just off of like I have so many questions off of what you
Yeah.
just said. But so when you made that decision in 2022 and you were like, I'm going to the lab. I'm doing it. How were you feeling in that moment? Were you like, what the hell am I doing? Like, or were you like, no, this is my calling. This is my I feel it. This
Yeah.
is good.
I mean, I felt like I don't know. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur and I've always
Mhm.
wanted to have my own company and have a product that people bought over and over again. And
Mhm.
that's really hard to do, especially in this very competitive market. And so it was just one of those things that when I felt like I had something different,
Mhm.
I rolled with it and was just
Oh,
like, let's just make it happen.
100%.
And so that's the mindset we've had from the very beginning is like, we're going to make this work no matter if it takes 10 years or 20 years. Like, we're going to make it work.
Absolutely. And I think that's incredible because I feel like so many people, like you said, you just Mom Water had just come out and you were like, damn it, you know?
Mhm.
And that didn't stop you, because
No.
a lot of people it would.
Yeah,
They'd be like, "You know what? Well, there's one already, and
for sure.
just because there's one doesn't mean that one, it's gonna like, you can't make a better product."
Absolutely.
I mean, and there's only one founder.
Yeah,
It's your story. It's your
absolutely.
twist.
Mhm.
So that's incredible.
Yeah.
So I found out about you because I connected with you on a Facebook group, out of all things, a
Yeah.
Facebook group. Facebook's amazing,
I love
right?
Facebook.
I know. So I saw that you had posted in there, and it took me a while to reach out to you because I had seen it and I was like, my first initial reaction was like, damn, that girl is hustling. Like, good for you.
Yeah.
Because so many, like, I swear, I talk to my clients about this all the time. Like, we talk about Facebook groups religiously because people really underestimate the power of a Facebook
Oh,
group.
yeah.
It's so incredible. So I just commended you. I was like, she gets it. Like, she knows what she's doing. Like, good for her. That's awesome. And I just remember I was like, it took me a couple months and I was like, gosh, I remember Crispy Cool, and I remember that girl posted in Cherokee Connect, and I remember I posted about finding you in Cherokee Connect. I was like, "Hey guys, like there's a girl that posted about a canned beverage she was doing. Like I'd love to connect with her." And they were like, "Oh my god!" And like a million people tagged you,
Yeah.
and it was awesome. So again, the power of Facebook, and
Yeah.
so you recently sponsored us at a inside the Ingate watch party at Wills Park,
Yep.
and so it was incredible, and the response was amazing.
That's awesome.
Everybody loved it, and everybody was like, "Wait, who is this? Like, where do I get these? Where do I find them?" And I was, like, handing your cards out. I was like, "Yeah, this is
That's
this
so
is
awesome.
awesome." And we even mentioned you on the podcast, and it was like so I knew I had to have you on my marketing podcast and talk about this because it's just I respect so much of the hustle,
Yeah.
and it's so difficult being an entrepreneur in general. Now going off script a bit, but, like, you said you always knew you wanted to be an entrepreneur. So what did
Yes.
you do before?
So before I was actually in real estate. I did real
Okay.
estate full time, and then I worked in like property management before that. And that was great, but I mean, to be honest, I work a lot more now, but even then I was having clients just call me at like all hours of the night, and it was just so draining because you could do so much work for someone and then the deal just falls through and it just is like
Yeah.
all that time is wasted.
Yeah.
But I knew that wasn't like just my end goal. You know, it
Mhm.
wasn't just to do real estate. I wanted to do something more than that. And I also like we were talking earlier, like we would love to have kids down the road.
Mhm.
And something that I've always said is I want to be able to be present and be home with my kids. But
Mhm.
financially, like in this economy, you have to make crazy money to be able to do that and be home with your kids.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if you can't be home with your kids, just sending them to daycare is like $3,000 a month. So, like, we have to be able to push to the next level, and I felt like Crispy Cool was our chance to be able to do that.
That's amazing. So you're just building that foundation.
Building the foundation, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's amazing. Good for you. And it's so like I said, because I when we did the event at Wills Park, you were, like, at another event, and then you were just like, "Yeah," and then we had a brief conversation about you selling and how you are just out there consistently selling and pushing the product
Yeah.
and out there grinding, and that's what it takes.
Oh, for sure. It's day in and day out, and, like, the process of this entire journey has been so difficult, and if somebody had told me all of the obstacles that we were going to face along the way of this journey, I probably wouldn't have done it, to be very honest
Yeah.
with you, and, like, it has been hard from a financial aspect. You know, we've been pouring everything into this. We haven't taken on any investors.
Mhm.
We haven't taken on any loans, any debt, anything like that. We've been taking everything has been out of our pockets.
Yeah.
And so it's been quite the journey along the way. And so when we actually finalized our formula the end of 2023, we were on the hunt for a distributor. And so we tried to reach out to probably like 15 different distributors trying to get them to just take us on as a product
Yeah.
and as a brand. And most of them told us no. Some of them didn't answer us at all. And it was so, like, devastating because it's like we've worked so hard even just up to that point to just
Mhm.
get on the market, and we couldn't get on the market.
Yeah.
And so we find a co-packer up in Nashville, Tennessee to help us manufacture this, and we finally end up, working with the distributor in, end of June is when we finally signed with them. So we were able to
Mhm.
get on shelves as of, like, July 4th of last year. Well, our first shipment that was sent out from our co-packer wasn't properly packaged, and so
Mhm.
they sent the shipment out to our distributor, and the entire shipment was ruined. It had fallen apart, it
My
was
god.
completely destroyed, and it was, like, over $10,000 worth of stuff, and that was, like, our very
No.
first shipment out. And so we were just like, "Okay, well, that's a really tough way to start the market as well."
Yeah.
And so we did what we could, scraped up another shipment and sent it out to, our distributor, finally got on shelves as of, like, July 4th, and
Mhm.
the first shop we actually partnered with was Sprayberry Bottle Shop,
Mm.
down in Marietta,
Mhm.
and they were great because they were just immediately like, "I love that you are a small business and that you're local and that you're out here grinding,"
Yeah.
and so they took us on, and it was great because we could send everybody there, but within our first 60 days on the market, I had got us into over 100 stores and locations.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it was kind of crazy. We were so worried about trying to keep up with the demand of the product and consumers loving it. We were posting in Cherokee Connect. Almost every single post that I had going in Cherokee Connect was going like semi-viral for
Yeah.
what the Facebook group is.
Right.
And I was just like, this is awesome. Like, let's keep going. Let's keep pushing. And so we kept pushing, kept doing well. And then we were starting to get some complaints back from our customers. And they were like, hey, like these cans just aren't properly like, they're not full, which they were full, but the problem is with it being a non-carbonated beverage, you have to nitrodose the cans. So
Mm.
same with, like, water bottles and stuff. When you first
Mhm.
open that water bottle, it's, like,
Mhm.
squishier
Yeah,
than
yeah,
what it
yeah.
was when you bought it from the store.
Mhm.
So same thing with cans, and so our old co-packer wasn't properly, essentially filling those cans.
Right.
And so, oh gosh, then, we decided that we need to start making this ourselves. We need to make sure that the product that we're sending out to everyone is quality product.
Mhm.
And so we decided that we were going to invest in a, um, a warehouse and the machinery and everything like that. So we made the financial
Wow.
investment to start our own co-packing facility as well. And that was the end of 2024 that we decided that we were going to do that.
Wow. So pretty recent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just almost a year ago that we, like, made the decision that we were gonna do that, but
Yeah.
also, like, financially, you have to pay a lot in taxes, especially if it's made outside of Georgia.
Mm.
So our cost, per case essentially was over, like, $2.70 per case on
Mhm.
top of other taxes and things like that. Making it outside of Georgia. Making it inside of Georgia, our cost was only like 55 cents a
Oh,
case.
wow.
So it's a huge margin when you're
Yeah.
talking grand scheme of things,
Yeah.
but
Wow. That's amazing. I mean, and all those things, like, it's really fascinating to me because, like you said, you were doing real estate before this, and like all you're spilling all this knowledge onto me. Like, go. I mean, you just had to learn that along the way.
yeah, I didn't have any mentors, which was really tough
Yeah.
because, like, nobody I know has been in this market. It's just
Yeah.
been, ChatGPT has been my best friend throughout the process of it. But just trying to figure out, I mean, I didn't even know that there was a tier system when I was,
Yeah.
like, formulating my beverage. I didn't know you had to go through, like, the distributors and the different ways to be able to get it on the shelves.
Right.
All of the permitting that you have to do is actually insane,
Yeah.
and we had to get a distilling license for our warehouse down in, Atlanta, and when we were trying to get that, we probably spent, like, gosh, 10 months trying to get that license, and that's with
Wow.
hiring lawyers who knew what they were
They were
doing
doing.
to
Yeah.
file all of that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, and that's just again, and I always talk about this too, is like, you have the mom waters or you worry about competitors or and you worry about things like that, but you're like, probably like bring it on because this
Yeah.
this is a hard business. And especially being a small business
Oh, for sure,
and you're doing it all on your own.
for sure,
That's incredible.
and it was really tough last year. My husband had actually lost his job, like, end of September timeframe, and that
Mhm.
was right after, um, we had figured out essentially that the product was not being filled properly and we weren't having good
Right.
product go onto shelves, and
Right.
so when we decided that we were going to co-pack ourselves was around the
Mhm.
same time that both of us were like, I was full-time Crispy Cool and he
Yeah.
was unemployed,
Right.
and so that was, like, a huge risk to be able to jump into that, and luckily, he ended up getting another job back at his previous company,
Yeah.
and, that ended up working out fine and working out for the best.
Yeah.
But it was still very terrifying in the moment because we
100%.
had just placed the orders for our machinery. We had just secured the warehouse, and he had lost his job like right in that same
Oh
process
my
time frame. Yeah.
gosh. Oh my gosh. Good
Yeah.
lord. But, I mean, that's what these stories are all about, right? I mean,
Oh, for
that's
sure.
what, you hear all these, top entrepreneurs, they all have these incredible stories, these founder stories that mean so much and that makes the product so much more impactful,
Yeah.
and I think being a small business, a woman-owned business too, that it allows your customers to connect with the product. They wanna support you. They
Yeah.
wanna they wanna lift you up, and they want to, make that happen for you, which
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey, and it's been crazy to see how much progress we've made in the time frame that we have. And we actually ended up switching distributors in April of this year. So now
Mhm.
we're distributed by Eagle Rock. And they've been great. It's been great to have like a really solid sales team because our previous distributor just wasn't a really large distributor. They did
Yeah.
more of like craft beers and things like
Mhm.
that. So it just wasn't the right market for them to
Yeah.
be produce or to selling our product pretty much.
Yeah.
Um, so we've had a lot more connections with our current distributor for sure.
Yeah. So that's good to know. So I don't know anything about the distribution world. So, they have people that go out and kind of promote the product and help you promote it. And I'm
Yes.
sure, obviously, like I've speaking to you before, like nobody's gonna be able to sell it like you can.
Absolutely, and nobody and the thing is with the distributors, they have so many other products that they're trying to sell.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going out and being like, "I'm Team Crispy Cool, and that's the
The
only thing
only
that I'm going to
thing.
be selling."
Yeah.
Like, they have 100 other products that they're trying to sell and trying to get in the
100%.
door, and so, for me to go out to the stores and sometimes I'll do ride-alongs with the reps, but a lot of the times I will go out to the stores and check on inventory, see if there's something I can do to support the store a little bit better,
Mhm.
and then also, like, trying to push into more stores.
Yeah.
We've recently started partnering with some hair salons in the area, so
Oh,
I don't know if you saw our post on
nice.
Instagram, but we do tastings all the time. Like, at liquor stores, I'm doing 2 this Friday alone,
Yeah.
and the liquor store tastings are so tough because I did one up in Waleska last week,
Oh, wow.
and it was tough. I maybe had 2 people that walked in there that were the
I was
demographic
gonna say.
that I was trying to sell to.
Yeah.
And so, most people won't try it at the store, even if I'm giving it for free, like they will not try it. And then on top of that, it's not hitting my demographic. So it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm like almost wasting time trying to sell it at a liquor
100.
store.
Yeah, I feel like too, like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I live in Ball Ground, so I'm very familiar with that area, and I'm just here I love it here,
Mhm.
but I think, this area, Ball Ground, is just now getting probably the target demographic that you want,
Absolutely.
and so but out there, I just don't know if we're there yet, but that's okay,
Yeah.
but you gotta at least
Yeah.
try, and
Well,
there's
it's a good store for us. So that was why it was so funny to me that it doesn't do well for the tasting because they sell a
yeah,
decent amount of product for us. But
interesting.
the funny thing is there's a lot of times when we're in a liquor store and you will not see women walk in there very much.
Mm,
It's a lot of men buying high noons for their wives or buying mom waters
mm,
for their wives. And
mhm.
because they're buying that for the wives, they're not going to try something new for the wife and mess up what they're supposed to be getting.
Heaven forbid.
Heaven forbid. And
Yeah.
so, we partnered with the hair salons, like I said, because for us, we can give away the product way cheaper than it cost me to do a tasting,
Oh, yeah.
as well as like my time and everything like that.
Mhm.
But I'm hitting my demographic every single time somebody tries it. So
100%.
even though they're not buying it at the salon, they're going to try it and they get a whole can at the salon and they're like, you know what, this is really good. I'm going to go buy this.
Yeah.
And that has helped us start to push the needle a little bit more, which was a really interesting theory. Like, let's just give away product to hair salons, but
Mhm.
it's really the best marketing and the cheapest marketing that I can do. I can
Mhm.
run ads on Facebook and run ads on Instagram all day long. But the amount of people that actually will go to the store and purchase the product, not having ever tried it,
Yeah.
is actually a really, really small amount.
Yeah, so interestingly enough, my grandfather has a winery, and so out in California, so they have a very similar problem, very similar issue where they have, and their stuff is very expensive. And the more expensive the product is,
Oh, yeah.
more challenging it is. So, that's something in our meetings that we have conversations about all the time is how do we get people to buy the product that have never bought, like that have never tasted it. How are they going to know that they
Yeah.
like it? How are they going to know that they want it? They actually, I'm going to show you.
Okay.
There's there's no wine in here. So they came out with these kits, and I guess this is like a very classic um thing, but for wine specifically, but I thought it was the like coolest idea, but they have these glass tubes that go in here. Of course, I don't have any in here.
Yeah.
And they're just like they do virtual tastings. They host
Interesting.
virtual tastings. And so that was it. Um I've been on their marketing team for a while and it's a little bit difficult, but they are
Yeah.
great. But yeah, they I guess it's a distributor or a product or a business that does that, and they do really well, and it's a way for them to taste the product, but it is something a conversation that regardless of what the product is, like, it's very difficult for people to kind of subscribe to it if they've never tasted it.
Absolutely.
And again, being at the watch party and you being a part of it, and I got to literally see people try it for the first time. And I was, like, blown away because
Yeah.
you just never know. You never
No, you
know what
never know.
and so I was running around that day and people just kept coming up to me and they were like, "These drinks are incredible. Like, these drinks are so good." So, I mean, I can just see the value in doing things like that
Yeah.
and putting yourself out there and because you didn't know me, you were like,
No.
I don't know who you are,"
No.
like, sure. And I just know I know the equestrian community really well, and I knew that that would be such a good thing for them
Yeah.
because they are your
Yeah.
target demographic.
Yeah.
Like, all women, all watching calories, all wanting something that's good, like,
Mhm.
that tastes good,
Just
that
has to be refreshing, like, not
yeah,
every alcoholic drink has to, like, put you on your butt, but it also doesn't
yeah,
have to taste, like, horrible either. I mean,
right,
I think that was, like, the main thing is I was so tired of going to the bar and just having these drinks that tasted absolutely horrific,
yeah.
and I'm like, "I
You
just
just
want
had to put,
something
like,
refreshing." I
just,
wanna
like
be able to actually drink my drink at dinner and not be like, "Ugh," just take it back a little bit.
yeah, and just, like, you're just, gulping it down just to, like, get
Yeah,
it over with,
yeah,
or just
essentially.
putting, like, a ton
I
of
want you
lime
to
in it.
enjoy it. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
absolutely. So, talking about marketing.
Yeah.
So, that's our thing. I love talking about marketing. So, obviously, I have loved watching you do all of your events and hearing about all of those things. How do you feel like you're doing on digital side?
Digital side is definitely where we're struggling because, like, financially, like I said, we have been putting everything into this. And
Yeah.
so, the budget that we have is so small, I say, for that digital side at the moment, just because we are finally like getting past the point of we've just spent so much money on getting this distilling
Oh,
license. Like,
yeah.
it was tens of thousands of dollars to get this
Yeah.
license
Yeah.
because the lawyers had to file it and lawyers are not cheap to
No,
get this license.
definitely not.
I mean, even just like our renewal was $5,000 just to
Yeah.
renew our distilling license that we just got in August
Yeah.
because that was the renewal time frame of it.
Yeah.
Like, come on. So, like, I feel like we're finally at the point where we can actually start making money with this
Yeah.
because we are not shelling out, tens of thousands of dollars for
Yeah.
our old co-packer. We're now
Yeah.
making it ourselves.
Yeah.
We're moving in the right directions. And we actually have just decided recently that we were going to start co-packing for other brands and other companies as
Mm.
well.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, yeah, so
Yeah.
that's definitely in the works for 2026.
Mhm.
We've talked about, like, also adding to our co-packing line. I'd love for you to come down to the warehouse
It'd be
one day
so
and come
cool,
see it.
yeah.
It's really cool, but adding a carbonation side to it as well,
Yeah.
so that way we can take on more clients and things like that, but with that additional revenue coming in, our marketing budget will increase significantly because we
Mhm.
know that that's the number one thing we're lacking at, and
Yeah.
with it being just me, I can't be on the digital side of things at all times. I'm
Yeah.
also like, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to it. I
Yeah.
post in Facebook groups. I'm part of a couple different ones and like I'm part of like Marietta Moms and like
Love it.
uh focus on Forsyth or Forsyth local and things like that. And um just trying to get out into different areas. But even then, like when I'm posting, I'm like, hope this one actually gets to see people and hope
Yeah.
it actually makes it out there
Yeah.
because sometimes you post and I get like 3 likes on it, and sometimes I post and I get 700.
Yeah.
But I get really good feedback, so that's been really good to see from the, like, Facebook group and Cherokee Connect,
Yeah.
and to see everyone say, like, the number 1 comment I get back are, "These are dangerously good."
Yeah.
I'm like, "That's fair."
That hey, that's what I like to hear. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's, the other thing about the digital side is that it's such a time commitment, right? And
Yes.
it's, especially when you're a small business, you're not a solopreneur, but you have your husband, but you guys are busy. You guys are
Oh, yeah.
doing
Still
stuff.
works a full-time job,
Yeah.
so for
So, I
sure.
mean, obviously, I'm here to help you for sure if you ever need it. But
Yeah.
I think even you just picking up your phone and just documenting what you're doing
Yeah.
is going to be so. But I know in the moment you're like, I have like 10,000, I have liquor stores calling me. I'm at a
Oh, yeah.
tasting. I'm doing all these
I have
things.
reps
Like
calling
I
me.
have
Oh,
reps
yeah.
calling me. So, but I mean, like I said, I've found that so many clients and just even just myself in general, it's so difficult to when you are the face, you are the person, like
Mhm.
you're and then just consistently having to sell the brand
Yeah.
digitally, in person, like all the things. It's a
It's a
lot.
lot.
It's a lot.
It's very time consuming
Yeah.
too.
But the good thing is that you really understand who your target demographic is,
100%. I
which
would
is
definitely say women between the ages of, like, 21-year-olds typically can't afford to drink, but I would say, like, 21 to 55 really
yeah.
is who we're trying to target.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, even like men, we try to target golf courses a lot too. We do a lot of
Yeah.
golf events because I tell the guys, like, I'm not trying to like take you away from the beer. I'm just saying, like, this is your water between your beers.
100%.
And that's, like, the number 1 way I sell it to them. They love my
Yeah.
black cherry for whatever reason, that's, like, the number 1 hit at the golf course is
I
black
love
cherry.
that. I
Yeah.
love that. I mean, you know, and I feel like and there's so many benefits to it, the hangover, the sugar, like all the things anyway. So I'm sure the guys can, especially if they're like tired of beer and they don't
Or
and
yeah, or
they
full.
they're full or they're just like, okay, I can't have like 10,000 calories in beer.
Yeah,
Like I just can't.
yeah,
So I'm sure they love it. I saw that on your Instagram. I
yeah,
saw the golfers like
yeah,
holding it. I was like, oh, that's amazing.
yeah,
That's
yeah, no, they
perfect.
love it, and then, like, the pineapple, funny enough, like, the pineapple, was not one of our original flavors, but it is our best-selling flavor of the Crispy Coals. We actually had a lemon lime in our lineup,
Oh.
and it kept tasting like a flat Sprite in the lab. And we had finalized the other flavors, and I was still working on that lemon lime for another, like, 2 months, and
Wow.
I could not get the lemon lime right. It,
Yeah.
like, tasted literally like a flat Sprite. It was disgusting, and so I was like, "You know what? Let's just nix it and do pineapple." And it was a crazy, like, transition because I'm actually allergic to pineapple, so it
Oh,
was why it
really?
wasn't in our original lineup. And so
Oh.
I was like, "I need this to taste as close as you can to pineapple, but not have actually any real pineapple in it because I will have an allergic reaction." So
Oh my god.
so I'm actually really proud of the pineapple because I have so many people that open it up and are like, "This smells like pineapple, and it doesn't taste like it's, like, super artificial or anything
Right.
like that. It actually tastes like pineapple." And I'm like, "Nailed it."
That's
Absolutely
that is
nailed it.
music to my ears.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what are some of the things like, you know, being a woman, being in business, what are some of the things that advice that you would give to a woman that wants to not that maybe doesn't want to get in the alcohol space, but even just wants to be an
Yeah.
entrepreneur?
I would say, like, don't be scared of the no is the main thing. If I quit because of how many times I have been told no in my life, I wouldn't be doing this to this day.
Yeah.
And so, I was taught at a very early age from parents and everything like that is go for the no. Keep pushing the sale until they give you a hard no. If they say maybe, keep pushing it.
Mhm.
Push and push and push. And the thing is if you work hard at anything that you do, no matter what area you're in, if you work hard every single day and have a goal of this is what I'm going to accomplish today,
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be a 10-year goal. It can be the next hour, this is what I'm going to accomplish. And you keep setting your mind to that every single day and you wake up and choose to go after your goal, you're going to hit your goal.
100%.
If you work hard enough at anything, you're going to make it work no
Yeah.
matter what it is.
I love
So,
that.
I would say go for the no and, make sure that you're pushing the limit for sure.
Yeah. Where do you think that passion and drive comes from for you?
For me, it definitely comes from my grandfather. So my grandfather was actually an entrepreneur as well.
Mhm.
He invented push button seatbelts. So seatbelts used to be like the airplane mechanism, and that's how all seatbelts were. And so he invented the push button mechanism for
Oh
seatbelts.
my god.
Yeah. And so a couple years after he invented that, he ended up selling it over to Firestone,
Okay.
and retired at the age of 27. So he was super young to retire, ended up opening up a investment company called Passy after that. So he went and invested his money beyond that.
Amazing.
But it definitely comes from him. Him and his cousins were all very big into the entrepreneurial world and
Yeah.
very early innovators as well.
Yeah.
So I knew that that was in the blood for sure. And when I was little, I actually had like an entrepreneur book. Like it was a book of my ideas of this is going to be my business one day. And my
Wow.
mom pulled it out the other day, and I was cracking up so hard because there's so many of those ideas that have now come to market. Like people have done it and had the same idea.
Wow.
And one of the ideas that I had when I was little was like babies should have this like essentially like a stuffed animal that can be a little bit warm but also has like a heartbeat to it so they
Oh
feel like
my
comforted and stuff like
god.
that. Well, they didn't make it for babies, but they made it for puppies and dogs. So it's called a snuggle puppy. I don't know if you've ever seen it
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
but like they have it. It's got like a heating pack that can go inside of it and it has like a little heartbeat and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah. I
this is
mean,
exactly what I thought of when I was like 12 years old.
that's amazing. I mean, they have things for kids that are I don't know if it necessarily has a heartbeat per se, but you can
Yeah.
warm them up and, like, have them be warm and, like, put them in their crib and,
Yeah.
like, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so
So
cool.
that was just one of the fun, like, little ideas that I had.
Yeah.
So I knew that that was always going to be the end goal was to be an entrepreneur and be in my own business and
Yeah.
stuff.
Did you ever work a corporate job or no?
I mean, I worked in like property management, and then I also worked as a project coordinator up in New York for a little
Oh,
while.
okay.
I worked on like telecom construction. Very
Oh,
random.
very
Very
random.
random. But I was
Yeah.
part of like the T-Mobile and Sprint merger back in like
Okay.
2017, 2018
Yeah,
timeframe. I did
yeah.
that and that was
And
just
you're like, "No, it's not
no,
for
it was very
me."
boring. It was
Yeah.
very boring. There was no, moving up that ladder. I was just like, "This is not it."
This is not it for me.
No.
No. And I think if you are, like you said, like, entrepreneurship is in your blood. And if you have that personality, like, and you kind of, I mean, you kind of have to,
You have to, for sure.
you meet certain people and you're like, I think like they would be a good entrepreneur or
Yeah,
like they would not be a good entrepreneur.
for
Like,
sure.
so, and I think, and maybe sometimes that people, when they do decide to be an entrepreneur and maybe they don't have the right personality, it either forces them into being that type of person or it's
Yeah.
just not for them, and
And funny enough, I would say that my husband is not the entrepreneur type.
yeah,
Like,
mine isn't
he
either.
is not the type that's like, "Oh, let me go do my own business and do this."
Yeah.
He really likes working like a normal job.
Yeah.
So this definitely pushed him out of his comfort zone
Good.
more than you could imagine. And funny enough, he's like, "What are we gonna do when we sell Crispy Cool?" And I'm like, I think we need to go in the wedding planning business and
Yeah,
like
there
do
you go.
wedding venues and things like
Yeah.
that. And he's like, we would be very good at that. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that he's already thinking about that.
Oh,
He's like,
he's already on to the next chapter. He's
yeah.
like, if when we sell Crispy Cool, what is the next thing that we're
Yeah.
gonna do?
He's like, "This is gonna happen.
Yeah,
We're gonna do it,
yeah,
and so let's go ahead and start planning for it."
absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah,
Yeah.
where our biggest plan right now is just to move into more states. I think that's
Yeah.
like the main hurdle that we're trying to overcome because like with distributors, like we have our distributor in Georgia here,
Yeah.
but they're only in Colorado. So
Oh, okay.
we'll hopefully push into Colorado early 2026. But to push into other states, we have to get new distributors. So we have
Yeah.
to go through that whole same process again
Yeah.
to make that all happen. So
Yeah.
that's the next hurdle that we're trying to jump through is trying to get more distributors in more states. And the main thing is like marketing. They want
Yeah.
you to have so much money to put into marketing. Like they want
Yeah.
$1 million basically per state
Yeah.
for them to take you on. And I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't have that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, just one thing at a time,
absolutely. I
one
just got
thing
to
at
prove my sales.
yes, one thing at a time. You're doing great.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming on today.
Yeah. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me. Super
it's been
appreciate
so
it.
fun and it's just so I mean, just hearing your story and your dedication, your passion, like you're the real deal. Like
Thank you.
it's gonna happen for you. So tell people where they can find you and how to follow you and all the things.
Yeah, so you can find us, we have a page on our website that's just like a where to buy page.
Okay.
So you just go to crispycooldrinks.com. There's a little tab, click where to buy, and you can actually put in like your zip code and
Oh,
it'll show
okay.
you the closest stores to you where you can purchase it.
Perfect.
Right now, though, we are in just big cities. We're in Atlanta, Woodstock, Canton, Roswell, Alpharetta, Swanee, all the way up into Gainesville, and then all the way down into like Albany, Valdosta, Savannah.
Nice.
Yeah, we've gotten into a lot of places over there. We're over in Athens, UGA,
I love it.
all of those places as well. So
Okay.
we're in about over 200 locations to date so
That's
far. Yeah, I still
amazing.
need to add a couple more to the website that we just got this last week. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Good for
over
you.
200 places so
That's
far.
amazing.
Yeah, it's been
Good for
great.
you. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations,
thank
and
you.
we'll all be here to support you and watch you grow and do all
Yeah,
the things.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, thank
Excited to give you an update in a couple years.
yes, I can't wait. I can't wait. You'll be on to weddings before
Yeah,
you know it.
absolutely.